This just in on the Stouting Off podcast, Will Woodington almost drowned twice. In addition to this, we're going to discuss the question that's really on everyone's minds. Can the famous ship, the Titanic, truly be restored to its former grandeur? In addition to this, we're going to discuss some familial recipes amongst the three of us Stouting Off hosts. All of this and more coming up right here on the Stouting Off podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Stouting Off podcast. Pleasure to have you here. This is episode 2 of season 3, if you can believe that. Unofficially season 3, because podcasts, generally speaking, don't have seasons. Unlike life, though, because life does have seasons. Life moves in seasons, doesn't it, guys? I want to welcome Jordan and Will to the podcast. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for being here. I was about to address you one at a time, but instead I just want to ask you both at the same time. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Sorry, I tried to try to catch him there.
Tastic.
It's tastic.
Get a t-shirt made with that. Yeah, exactly. Apostrophe TASTIC.
Tastic.
And it'll be in the Stouting Off font. But for real, guys, it's great to be back. Having important conversations on the things that matter most in life with my guys. So it's good. Have you ever seen the freaking videos of the infant swimming classes of survival swimming? They throw an infant or a toddler into a pool and they can figure out how to not drown, dude.
For sure.
They figure out how to by
they just float on their backs.
Yes, dude.
Yeah. I have actually a very close colleague of mine who the first thing that they do is they dunk their kids in the bathtub. It's true.
Does it?
Have I ever done it?
That seems unorthodox. I don't know. I don't know if it does.
What's the benefit of that? Makes them not scared of water, or makes them terrified and scarred forever?
That would scar both me and the baby.
I really don't actually know what it does. I should know, but I think that I think that it should probably be something where they're not afraid of the water.
Oh man, that's one of those things.
It has to be.
It's I saw the Michael Jackson Thriller music video at a very young age. Too young to see it.
Interesting on what the segue is.
To this, stay with me here, because to this day, seeing that music video terrifies me. I have not watched it in its entirety since I was 4 or 5 or whenever I saw it. I still haven't. It's so scary. If I ever catch a frame of that, on TV, going through things, or on whatever, if it's a graphic on a meme or anything on YouTube or whatever, if I ever see anything from that music video, I get terrified. Now,
no kidding, dude.
It's so petrifyingly scary to me.
I think most people were kind of take that same stance. I know that my sisters were both terrified of it. I know that I was pretty scared of it when I saw it as a kid. It doesn't stop my oldest sister, Melissa, from doing the Thriller dance anytime she hears it in public.
Doesn't embarrassing you, and it's all good.
It takes far more than that now. But
yeah, right.
Going back to the swimming thing, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I think I was my family built a massive pool in our backyard. Huge pool. It's 4.5 feet deep in the shallow end, 9 feet deep in the deep end.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Huge pool. And I was the year I think I was born is when they built it. So I grew up knowing nothing but this pool. At about the age of 3 or so, or somewhere in that realm, I was outside with my mom on the deck, and she was just relaxing, tanning, whatever it was. And I fell into the pool. Now, I didn't have floaties on or anything, and I sunk to the bottom. She turned around and I was just in the pool, at the bottom, and she had to come in and save me.
No way.
I'm pretty sure it also happened with me and my sister. 2 separate near drowning accidents.
Wow.
In 4.5 feet deep water.
Dude.
when I
That's
was
scary.
before the age of 5. I mean, it really it toughened me up. I can feel that. I feel that
Yeah.
sense of drowning, you know, and how much it built me up.
That stays with you.
It stays with me. No, I don't remember it whatsoever, but I do remember. Well, I don't remember this, but my mom has told me multiple times. She like got me out of the pool and she said, "You scared the expletive out of me," and I said it right back to her. I said, "You scared the expletive out of me."
First words.
Yes. They were my first words.
Well-
I was 5 years old, so I was a little bit late to the game. Right after drowning, that's what brought it out.
Well, Mom, you scared
You
the
scared
expletive
the-
out of me.
Totally fine, too. Not emotionally upset or off
No.
kilter.
You guys
It's just,
slap hands after.
Just
you scared me.
right.
You scared me too.
Like a skateboarder who just nailed a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
That's
is it
insane.
Bad that I saw? Is it bad that I pictured you with your face and how you look, but as a toddler, sitting cross-legged on the bottom of a pool,
Completely zen.
And what that would look like from an adult standing, just waving up, completely zen.
I'm playing with toy cars down there, just completely fine.
Where's Will?
Somehow the bubbles when they pop say you scared the whatever out of me.
Bill, scared.
Out of me. Mom. That's great.
That is good. That's
Did
a
the pool
good-
have a fence? Like a gate?
So the way that it worked was it was like a rectangular pool, and there was a big deck. You had to walk up to the deck, and then there was like a big like patio sort of area up top, and then there was a thing that went around.
Wait, was this in a? Sorry, George. Go ahead.
I had a pool growing up as well. We got it when I was like probably 6 or
Remember
7.
when we swam in it in a very like cold October night?
Yeah, we were filming a movie.
Yes, we were. We'll come
And
back
then
to that.
and then my neighbor said, "Hey Jordan, quiet down." And then Tim Brady said, "Why don't you get out here and try to do what we're doing?" Because it was like 40 degrees.
But as though that gives us the right to be loud at 11 p.m. Well,
As
why
if
don't
you're-
you get out here and try to do what we're doing
Yeah,
and not scream?
You're providing a public service is the way that it was spun off.
Yeah. Anyway, like my pool to me was always an in-ground pool to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into the grass, like the backyard, because like the French doors of my parents' house, they go out to the deck and then you go down into the backyard. But the pool is 3 feet above ground, but the deck makes it feel like it's in ground.
Yeah.
So
what
if
you mean.
anybody ever asked me as I was a kid, "Oh, what is it? An above ground pool?" I'm like, "No, it's an in ground pool." But it's not.
Right. Yeah. You got to put on a show.
But it's
So
not.
was it partially in ground?
Well, technically, because the deck made it flat.
Yeah.
You know,
fair.
like the deck made it the same grade as the deck was the pool. But then on the grass, it was like 2.5 or 3 feet above ground, but so was the deck.
I see.
When
see.
you
Yeah.
started describing it and you said French doors, I was like, this guy had French doors leading to his pool.
That's what I thought too.
And that's the most
Oh, I'm sorry.
extravagant thing I could ever imagine.
it
No, I
would
didn't.
be.
But it's also
It would
funny
be.
to just imagine a door frame without anything else tied to it and 2 French doors that lead to the pool.
But it's also something that my dad would probably do.
Yeah, it's just doors. Don't walk around the doors because it's not attached to anything. They're just freestanding doors. You could walk
Freestanding
around
doors?
It, but no, you walk through them. You don't walk
Unistrut to the
around them.
clouds. No, but yeah, I was just wondering about the gate because like I had like extremely strict rules about the pool. Like I could go out there and vacuum, but if it like I was vacuuming, it had to be with like my mom, very nearby. And we actually had a friend, this is like deep, but like we had a friend while we were living in Nashville whose family lived in Florida, I think, and like their child went into the pool and like drowned.
Oh my word! It
And
happens.
that like freaks people out. Like that freaks people like me out because I've got
Totally.
3 kids now.
Yeah, man, it's
Like,
totally possible.
Going to vacation like with a Airbnb with a pool, I'm like, okay, everybody's on leashes basically.
Yeah, or you just never get to relax, like
Right. Yeah.
unless all 3 kids are within eye shot. But not sure if that's a term, eye shot. But all good. You guys know what I mean. Have you guys been watching The Bachelor?
Monica said this season's like whack.
Yeah. The first of all, The Bachelor this season, Clayton, I don't know. He's just so boring. I feel like the bachelors that they get, there has to be something about that person that appeals to everybody. But in that instance, it's just so plain, so ordinary that it just makes them boring.
But doesn't at the end of the day, like you would even admit, right, about The Bachelor, that though you watch it probably for like the drama and the right, like all this stuff, you're not watching it because you're watching 2 people fall in love. Admit that.
Right, totally.
You want turmoil.
You're just watching
it
because it's addicting.
You need that tension, that friction, the conflict, and you need the villain. But I'll tell you this: the villain on this season, a girl by the name of Shanae, horrible. At least she was portrayed as a horrible person, said horrible things, was maybe the worst Bachelor villain of all time in terms of just how much she's hated, or at least how much animosity it may have stirred up in me, per se. But so she went home 2 episodes ago now, and I gotta say, the show's kind of boring now. They just
really?
watching people quote unquote fall in love.
Yeah,
that's
not what we want.
Boring. No,
that's not what we want.
Story.
See, yeah, I mean, part of the reason that people, I think, watch that, like any other reality TV, is not any like. You can browse Instagram and find a bunch of couples who they just fell in love, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
There's nothing there. What you want is animosity, turmoil, horrible personalities, and
egos, pride.
Egos, pride. Ego/pride.
Egos, pride, and obviously slash.
Yes. So you
slash
need those
Hospitals
8 things.
Manufacturing.
That's right. Right.
And
that's right.
No, yeah, you're not watching it to watch them like be hunky dory and fall in love. You want all of those. You want the drama. The drama is what people watch that for. Now, I have yes, I've watched episodes of The Bachelor or Bachelorette or whatever randomly, and I it's hard for me to make it through it because I get so mad that people out there in the world exist that are like that.
Yeah. For sure.
And but that's what you want. Because part of you, it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. When they fall in love, it doesn't. But
it's true.
The road there should make you be going like, oh man, these people are horrible. And then they end up in love, and then that's when you turn it off.
You said something interesting. You said it makes us feel better than them. There is a hypothesis in comedy, actually, which it says that people laugh about 2 different things. Somebody tried to boil this down to people ultimately laugh about 2 different things. One of them is when when someone looks stupid or does something in it inadvertently makes us feel superior to them. It's the superiority hypothesis. Mm-hmm. That like when somebody makes a fool of themselves, it is funny because somehow it elevates us above them and it gives us like joy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thrive on that. Yeah,
I do too. Somebody slips and falls downstairs. You're just like, what an idiot. How did you not figure that? How did you not know how to, even though that's us on any given day as well. Like,
yeah.
I have plenty of moments by myself where I'm like, that was so stupid. And if I had an audience, they would be crying, laughing right now. But I think there might be something about entertainment in general that things are entertaining for us when it makes us feel superior to someone else.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And even if you've been through that same situation yourself, you still go through that experience. Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I totally agree with that. And if you wouldn't mind, may I read an excerpt from this book that I just pulled out?
How to become an insurance specialist in 24 hours.
Frame by frame cartooning.
This book is it's It's called Comedy Writing for Late Night TV.
Ooh.
And it was written by...
God, I would love to do
guy,
that.
It was written by this guy...
You could do that.
Joe Toplin. You could totally, by the way. You should read this book. After I read this, I started putting jokes together that were funny. Dude.
Yeah.
I won't tell him here. You guys aren't ready for him quite yet.
Well, you should give that book to him today.
Right. Drop it off to We'll Exchange today.
Well, it is Friday. You're here with me in Nashville, so yes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, the two theories were the superiority theory about why I talked about this earlier in the episode, why we think things are funny. The superiority theory is when we feel that we are superior to something else, and it says that we laugh when we suddenly feel superior to someone else. I think suddenly is a key there. Suddenly. Just like, oh, turns out you're an idiot. That's funny. You know?
Yeah.
The surprise theory of laughter says that we laugh when we're surprised with an incongruity that turns out to be harmless. When something is totally not what we expected, it's funny. You know?
Sure.
I've had to think. I couldn't remember the other hypothesis about, or theory about why people laugh. But anyway, you should read this, Will. I'm giving it to you.
I definitely will. There's actually a great documentary on HBO about the history of late night TV. It's pretty fascinating, like where it started and how the whole entire, structure of late night TV came about and all the different legends that did it, for years and years. And now there's like 1,000 late night TV shows, but sketch writing for a late night TV show, I think that's where so many famous comedians got their start. So many.
Yeah. Yep. I was listening to the Smartless podcast, which I love. Jordan, have you listened to that? I know Will has.
No.
Smartless
Never.
is Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and the guy from Will and Grace. I forget his name.
Sean Hayes?
That's cool.
Sean. But they had Will Forte on, and Will Forte started out as well as like a writer.
Letterman.
Just like he was writing funny stuff.
Yeah.
And then they were eventually like, you can act. You can try this
I
out.
think that's kind of like
MacGruber.
Yeah. Like, not to say that's like anybody's entry level job. I'm sure that there's other credentials that they look for, but like many famous comedians and comedy writers got their start in late night TV, and then they moved on to SNL, and then they started actually acting and doing skits and getting movie deals and stuff like that.
What are you guys sipping there, bourbon wise?
I brought a couple of things. The one that he and I are sipping on is a bottle that came out a few years ago called Wild Turkey, not Unforgiven. That's one of my favorite movies, though. Forgiven. And it's a blend, an accidental blend of Wild Turkey, bourbon, and rye that some distiller accidentally mixed together, and it came out so good that they decided to bottle it, and then they called it Forgiven.
Because he was forgiven.
He was forgiven.
For the mistake.
Yes.
He didn't get fired.
He did not get fired, as far as I know. Now, have I fact-checked that before just saying that? Absolutely not. There could be no shred of truth to it. But my assumption is that, he kept his job.
And you could have looked into that. Again, hearkening back to the last episode, you could go into the background and investigate that. You have all the tools, like you said, but you choose not to. Yeah.
Again, lots of tools. Ancestry, Yellow Pages, subscription to newspapers.com.
That's right.
All these other things. I can search on Facebook. I've got the authority to do that. I've got the clearance level to do that. I can search. I can filter down by city, education, whatever you want. I can do that. Now, I don't offer my services to the public, but if I do one day, that's a cash cow. And
sponsor the podcast, too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Will you sponsor us?
WoodySearchTools.com.
WST.com.
Yeah.
It sounds nice, though. I'd like to try that, though. Ship me up a sample sometime. Ship me down.
I'll ship it up to Anchorage and then down to you.
Why don't you guys why don't you bring it to him on Friday?
Because I'm already having
or this next weekend, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
You
mean Friday today, Jordan?
Friday today.
Why don't you bring it to him today, Will?
By the time this airs, will literally be with me too.
Yep.
I shouldn't say airs. By the time this is released, at the time that this is released, we're going to be together.
Yes.
Billiards. It's
yes.
going to be nice.
It will be nice.
I have FOMO already.
I'm excited.
It's all right. There will be other times. You know, we got
No,
the
there
golf
won't.
trip coming up in
Make
May.
him feel bad.
There won't be
May.
other times. I'm sorry, I just remembered.
Don't worry, there's going to be other times. We'll be together next December.
I'll see you at Christmas. All good.
Don't worry, dude. There's other times. There's 2033.
At
What
my
else?
wake. What?
At my wake.
I said at my wake in 2033, somehow knowing when it's going to be.
Doesn't 2033 sound so far away, but it's only 11 years away?
It's insane.
Yep. Yeah. I'm pretty sure 1990 was still just 10 years ago.
I'll go against the grain here and say that back then it was way harder to make a cartoon than it is now.
1000p, dude. You can
Also more
copy-
impressive. Now,
Totally.
the animation and what it looks like might not be the same product, but I think that, like, if I had a cartoon character go from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, nowadays I can say, like, you know, if they're flipping over, let's just say,
Oh, sure.
I can go one drawing here, and I can animate the rest.
Yes, you can. It's easy.
They're going
in like
drawing
5 frames per second.
every single frame, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Let's hear it.
Today, Monica completely stripped Jude's diapers away.
Oh, wow.
Now that seems like a big transition. I could be wrong, but that's a big deal, right?
Seems
He's like
kinda monumental.
4.5. So
Well,
It
I'm
needs
not
to
saying for
happen.
him. I'm not saying like. I just mean that's a big transition.
it's a big transition.
Yeah, I don't have any comment whatsoever on when that happens in a kid's life. I genuinely don't know, but that's a big
I think it
transition
happens
no matter what.
before now for most people.
Fair.
He's stubborn. You guys know Jude. He's stubborn. He's going to have his way, except for this way. It's going to be Mon's way. And I'm going to
Or
follow
the highway, dude. Yeah, that's it.
It's Mon's way or the highway. And I was working and I heard screaming. And so obviously I went upstairs. I said, "What's going on?" Mon said, "I took Jude's diapers away." And obviously I'm just 150% supportive. I'm like, "You're not getting your diapers back." Now, mind you, I was like working
Yeah,
and he had
right.
diapers on. I go upstairs and I'm like, "You're never seeing your diapers again." So it was a
The
quick switch
sooner
for
you
me.
can get that through your thick skull, the better.
This guy
Go
thought
back up there again later. He's got diapers on.
he thought he started his day one way, just the same.
Yeah,
Stark contrast from the rest of the other half of the day.
straight up.
Rug
Yeah,
pulled
so-
out from underneath him.
So he hasn't had
Literally.
he hasn't had
Right.
diapers on. And
Jude
here's
was
the
so
here's the craziest
surprised.
thing. And this is just a quick scene here, but like, yo, he's held his pee all day.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It takes some courage.
It's a recipe for a kidney stone in adulthood right there.
Or infantry.
Him getting a kidney stone
Or
at
the
this age.
infantry.
Or the infantry, as
You know,
we
it's
know.
common in the infantry. But wait, I have to revisit that idea that Jude, he started his day. Oh, it's just another day. You know, we went to
diapers.
Lego. Yeah, I'm wearing my diaper. We went to Legoland a couple days ago. It's all good. I'm loving life. And by noon, Dad's marching upstairs and saying, "The sooner you realize you're never wearing diapers again, the better." Right? He's like, huh?
Would you get it through your tiny skull? You're never seeing diapers again.
He's like, "Dad, but this came out of nowhere." That's very funny. That's a surprise.
It's like Jordan putting down the dog when the kids are there, and Jordan takes the diapers out back.
They hear a rifle blast.
Well, the diapers went to visit a nice farm.
The diapers are all
diaper
running on
farm.
a nice farm now.
Yeah, so that happened today. It's all good.
Dude, that happened to me in not the diaper thing. Well, probably. I was also a very stubborn, strong-willed child as well.
I think Monica and your mom have had some conversations.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, I turned out to be still a strong-willed person, but creative and just hard to rein in. I be like that. But
He's the
anyway,
best guy we know.
no, You
Stout?
guys are both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stout.
you guys.
No, Juder.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it, Will, before I continue. No, I appreciate that, you guys. But when I was a kid, our dog Victor had to go away to a farm or go away somewhere far. But he wasn't sick, though. I think he actually may have gone to the actual farm somewhere. I think he went to go live on
Guernsey?
I think he went to the Guernsey farm.
No kidding.
Dairy cows, and he was like the shepherd dog.
We had a dog growing up named Eeyore, and he was a basset hound.
Now that's cute.
Very
That
cute.
is cute.
Now, when he was a puppy, I was probably
Also a puppy.
also a pup when he was a pup. We got raised as pups together.
Couple pups.
Couple pups. And no, I was probably like 5 or 6 when my sister got him. So he was just a puppy basset hound. And their ears get so long that they trip over them, you know?
Now that is so cute that I could
I'm really
strangle
angry
something.
thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting furious.
Yep. And hold his ears up while he's drinking water and all that stuff, you know?
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that spaghetti cartoon?
Wiener dog?
Lady and the Tramp. I was about to say Beauty and the Beast.
Lady and the Tramp?
Yep.
He's got the long ears, right, too?
Oh, yeah.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yep.
He's Tramp?
I don't know if he's Tramp. I think the other. I don't.
Is he Lady?
I don't know if he's. Is he Tramp?
By process of elimination, I'm going to say he's Tramp.
He's got to be Tramp.
Got to assume he's Tramp by default.
I gotta. Yeah. Let me see here.
So
Go ahead, keep
initially, extremely cute, small, big ears. You know, very very cute dog. And then as years progressed, my sister ended up dropping him off at my parents' house because it was my sister's dog. Dropped him off at my parents' house to quote unquote watch him, and never picked him back up after 15 years. So he became our dog, basically. And we had a Dalmatian at the time, too. They would pass each other food in the kitchen while we were gone. Like, they get into the cupboard. And, like, we came back home, and, like, the Dalmatian was passing individual Idaho potatoes to Eeyore and eating them. One time he got up on the kitchen table, and a basset hound's legs, I don't know if you're familiar, they're very squatty dogs. So like a wiener dog would be. Really long body, super short legs. Came back home. He was on top of the kitchen table eating a loaf of bread.
Like, how did he get there?
How did he get up there? A hoist system that we didn't see, some sort of pulleys.
You missed the hoist system.
Right.
You look up and there's just a
Maybe
set of
the
chains on a
Dalmatian,
track and it's a
like,
crane.
Lifted,
Yeah, the Dalmatian could have lifted him.
Yeah.
lifted the dog.
They assisted each other, but they also fought a lot. And
What was the Dalmatian's name?
Ditto. How
That's
my
kinda
parents
sick. Eeyore and Ditto, dude. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
sick.
Also was its alias. Walt, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Walt Disney personally came up with the name Tramp. Did you know this? In early drafts, the scruffy male dog in the story was called Homer, Rags, Bozo, and even just Mutt. If you can
Mutt?
believe that. And this is me reading. Walt himself scratched out Mutt in one of the scripts and penciled in Tramp. Ward Green and the movie's distributors protested, feeling the name was a little too risque. But Walt usually got his way, and this was no exception.
Walt
No
got his-
kidding.
yeah, I
Lady
mean,
and the
it was-
Tramp. It's
And Tramp
I
is a
think-
male, yeah.
I think
You were right
Tramp. I think Leonardo in Titanic refers to himself as a tramp as well.
Huh. I've
Interesting.
never seen that one.
It may have had
You've
like
never
a
seen the
different.
Titanic?
No, I haven't seen. I truly have not seen Titanic, the film. I have not. Kate Winslet, from what I imagine, or from what I recall.
From what I imagine.
If I had to guess,
This kind of sounds like something with Kate Winslet in it.
that sounds like a Kate Winslet script.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it sounds very Kate Winslet to me.
I just watched that. Like, I feel like actually, I don't know, 5 months ago, I was in northern Michigan when I first moved here.
Sure.
And it was like this pouring down rain night. We're in this awesome cabin on Lake Michigan, and the only thing on TV was Titanic. We watched it. And then I became like obsessed with the Titanic. And I watched all the behind the scenes.
The ship?
No, the movie.
Oh, sure.
So I like watched all the behind the scenes and like kind of got really, really in deep with all of these different things and how they did. honestly, all of the stuff that they did from like a technology perspective were like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Like they would do some pretty crazy stuff.
It's Cameron, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's camera?
It's camera.
Cameron.
It was recorded
That
on
means
camera.
it's technologically advanced. It's camera.
If you think about that film, it's pretty camera.
Yeah. Spot on camera.
It's camera. Standard camera.
Yeah. I remember being further fascinated by that because they came out with like, I don't know if it was behind the scenes footage or if it was a separate like documentary, but like the actual James Cameron went down and like, I don't know if he went down in it. I'm pretty sure he did, but it may have been remote. I don't remember, but they,
Get to the point.
the ocean,
Come on.
Ocean
Get-
Explorer thing, they
Yeah.
took it down to the actual ship and like seeing the actual ship down there.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Is like insane because everything's like in a time capsule basically. Now they've like salvaged some stuff from the wreck and they've actually like toured exhibits of it. But when they go down, you can see like the clock and the fixtures on the wall and the dishes that were left behind. And
That would be...
the ocean
Yeah.
is horrifying.
At what
It
point
is. It's
can
terrifying.
our modern technology bring the Titanic up?
Don't know.
Have-
Don't know if
have-
it would fall apart, whatever. But I'll tell you
That's
this,
a good
like
question, actually. Like, bring it up in several pieces at least.
Right.
Hey, bring up as much as you can, build the rest.
I feel like it would just dissolve into
Yeah, it would.
into dust as soon as it came over the surface.
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
It just falls as sand.
Right when it comes out of the water. But
It's
then it
this
goes back down into the ocean and reforms into the shape of the Titanic, dude.
Magnificent ship coming out of the water. Goes back down, turns back into the ship.
Yes.
Into the ship.
Back into the ship somehow. Perfect mold. So I don't know if you guys had any like prototypical meals that your mom or dad or grandma would make and
Totally.
get excited for them or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, mom's spaghetti. That is the worst reference I could have made. Literally
because Eminem.
because Eminem and everyone knows about that dish. Everyone knows about mom's spaghetti.
It's not a secret anymore.
And the
No.
vomit on the sweater already.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, unlike the unlike the comment that we got on the YouTube video from last week's episode, where a guy commented on the thing of the whole history of fettuccine Alfredo. His side of the story.
He finally got his side of the story out there.
I don't even
That's
remember talking about Alfredo.
What was it that we
That was-
discussed?
Is when we were talking last week about the Olive Garden / Progressive Insurance.
Yes.
We were talking about, I'll have
And-
the fettuccine Alfredo with the
But so we were discussing, or you had put out,
$500 deductible.
yes, you put out a little video on your story about this guy commenting on the YouTube video,
Yeah.
and the biggest question is, how did he discover it?
I don't know.
Oh, dude.
Did he put in the keyword fettuccine? Did he put in the keyword Alfredo?
Alexa, find
Or
Yes.
someone who said fettuccine in the
Yes.
past 24 hours.
or
Like, it had fettuccine Alfredo in the title of the episode.
Right.
But why would you be going around YouTube looking for that search?
how did this guy hone in on that video?
What does
How?
he get
That's-
from it? What does he gain?
I don't know. So we were snowballing a little bit last night
Yes, we were.
on what the possibilities were. And one of the things that I told him was maybe it's this guy's job, full-time job, to research anything that has to do with fettuccine Alfredo on
Yeah.
YouTube. And I said, he's not just looking for the keywords fettuccine and Alfredo, but also deductible.
He's trying to control the information that's out there.
Yes.
That's the key.
He's got to get his side of the story out there. But I also spun it that he's spreading misinformation about fettuccine Alfredo, because if you go and look at it, it's about like his grandfather, I think, inventing fettuccine Alfredo and to come to his restaurant in Rome for, what was it, 30 days? There was 30 something.
You have
I
30
don't remember,
days.
but it caused me to scratch my head a little bit. I thought,
What are all the possibilities here? Because What is he hoping to accomplish? Does he really think that a bunch of people are all of a sudden going to go visit his restaurant in Rome?
Come to my grandpa's Alfredo kitchen. You have 30 days.
Then we got talking a little bit further. And again, he mentions the fact that his grandfather is the one that invented what we now know as fettuccine Alfredo. And we were saying that, like, we were just puzzled about how did he find the video? Like, what did it take? We're now expecting this guy to comment on every video and insert his grandfather somewhere. My grandfather was the Titanic.
Was on the Titanic.
My grandfather invented the pool, the above ground pool.
My grandfather built your pool.
My grandfather is your pool.
Come to Rome within 30
Come to
days so
Rome,
I can tell
or
you the
else-
story of it.
My grandfather is your French doors.
And then it got to my grandfather was. And that's it.
yes. My grandfather was. That's going to be all the comments. For that.
That's it.
Stupid. That's stupid.
That's funny.
The possibilities there are endless. But
Oh, it goes on into eternity.
yeah. But growing up, with specific meals and stuff like that, right? Everybody did. You loved your mom's spaghetti and so forth. My dad was famous and still is sort of famous for relentless barbecuing. I mean, the barbecue was never not on in our household. Barbecue always had at least it was like the eternal flame of JFK. Was always going on in that charbroil grill.
Was it good?
Yeah, he can make some good barbecue. He can also tend to overcook burgers by about 3 hours as well. So there's really no in between. There's really, truly no in between.
It's either great or not edible, not safe for human consumption.
I've got to like scrape off with a cheese grater all of the char, kind of deal.
But it was intentional.
Yes, it was very intentional by him
Well, I
to
meant to do
sabotage
that.
it. Yes, but it would be like a Wednesday evening, and I was in let's just say fifth grade. A Wednesday evening during the school year, fifth grade. We've already eaten dinner. My mom made something. I ate at an appropriate time, probably 7, ish.
Sure.
He probably even had some of it too. Well aware. I mean, we're all in the same house. He knows if someone's cooking and if they've prepared dinner.
Right.
At least you would think, because in reality, he would go out there and fire up the grill well after dinner has already been served. And
What time are we talking here?
well, so I'd be getting ready to hit the hay, as a fifth grader.
Right.
8:30.
You're 11.
8:39.
Later than that, a little bit later. 9:30, 10 o'clock max, right? I'm getting ready to hit the hay. Door knob, click, 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 clink, and then open my door, and it's my dad standing there with a tray of various meats that he has been preparing for the last 3 hours outside, unbeknownst to me. I didn't know that was happening out there at all. It was in secret.
After you've had dinner, too.
After I've had a full meal.
You're in
brush
your
your
pajamas. You brush your teeth.
I'm relaxing. I'm pulling the
read your
sheets
book.
over. Just as I'm pulling the sheets over, the door opens. And it's a tray so heavy that he's like losing balance of it. A little bit, maybe.
That's
Pull
how
the
many
sheets
meats are
over.
on.
Exactly. And I've got famous Daves at my door, famous Bills. Just a tray of assorted meats. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. I already ate. I'm not hungry. I don't. Come on, man. I've made all this stuff. I made this full roasted chicken and
Guilting
48
you.
hamburgers. I'm like, even if we hadn't eaten dinner, what you've prepared tonight is enough to feed the entire block. And it's 10 p.m. and I'm in grade school and I'm not hungry.
And I have a test tomorrow.
And
But
even though
come
nobody
on.
asked him to cook it, mad as could be when I said,
Come on.
don't want one.
Don't want it.
Don't want a hockey puck burger. I'm just not interested right now.
My.
Yeah. So that
That's awesome.
was I didn't have like any memories to tie to like one of my mom's specific dishes or whatever, like maybe a couple, but like
Yeah.
what sticks out for me for sure is my dad's relentless barbecuing, his incessant need to just grill 68 pounds worth of meat at 10 p.m. at night during a weekday.
And just kind of jockeying it around the house, too. Just trying to get somebody to eat some.
Carrying around the tray to each individual room like a butler, seeing if anyone... It's like an after-dinner mint. Ooh, would you like some tea?
Would
But
you
yeah.
like a spare rib?
Full rack of ribs is what he'd offer me. He'd offer me he would cook a full rack of ribs, not to share. Each person gets 1-2 ribs. Full rack for me. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't ask for
Great
it.
dinner, pot roast, mashed potatoes, some corn and green beans. I figured you might want a rack of ribs for dessert.
You're 9 years old. I figure you can eat a whole rack of ribs and then
That's
I
funny.
made 4 burgers for you. So enjoy.
I have a funny childhood food story. And the reason that it's funny is because it doesn't line up with current, which is we had like a rotation as a family in the late 90s, early 2000s. And there was always something on rotation, which was like chicken enchiladas, pot roast, steak, all with potatoes, green beans, corn, probably with everything. Even chicken enchiladas with mashed potatoes, green beans,
Mixing
and corn.
the green bean and corns into the enchiladas.
But the thing that stands out is that
Classic.
it was chicken enchiladas, right? I don't know what enchiladas means to this day. And the reason for that is because my mom's was a 9x13 pan of chicken, like shredded chicken, cheddar cheese, probably some sort of cream of chicken, something, and tortilla chips baked. And it was amazing.
Sounds good.
But if I went and got like a chicken enchilada at a Mexican restaurant or something like this, it's going to come out in like this fried, perfectly put together dish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a taco that they kind of like flatten and fry, kind of. Not flatten totally,
Yeah.
but they kind of like toast, like grill it a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. So like I'm confused, right? Because the enchilada that I know is just really good tasting.
Is it kind of goop?
It's like
Slop.
a casserole.
I was,
goop.
okay, I was going to say slop, casserole, whatever. It's like something you take a little spoon spatula and
Oh,
put
yeah,
on
that's
anything.
not what enchilada is.
But it was called chicken enchiladas, so I'm confused naturally.
Yeah.
It was great. Haven't made it.
That's a prime example of you saying like, "Mom, I want chicken enchiladas," and your mom going, "We have chicken enchiladas at home." That's
sure.
literally like the definition of what people think about.
Yeah.
Yes,
Totally.
Like I would go, "Mom, I would love if we could just listen to me, Mom. Level with me here.
Hear me out. Here.
Listen before you jump to conclusions. 1/2 gallon of actual chocolate milk. We have chocolate milk at home. No, we don't. We have Ovaltine. I live in 1952, and I'm drinking Ovaltine
Ovaltine.
when I get home.
Don't
Yeah.
forget to drink your Ovaltine.
I feel we had Ovaltine a couple times. I think my mom grew up on it, so she tried to introduce it into our house growing up, and my brother and I were like, "We're good. You appreciate
I've never
it, Mom,
had it.
but appreciate
It's
the
horrible.
thought, but we're all set.
I just know it from a Christmas story.
We'll take Nestle.
I've never
Quick.
had it.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was-
Nesquik.
yeah.
Yeah. But do you remember when it was called Nestle Quick when we were kids?
Yep.
And then sometime
With the bunny?
But
Yeah.
sometime midway through adolescence, it became Nesquik.
They said that's way too extreme. We got to change our ways,
Yeah.
and that became Nesquik
I don't
Yeah,
remember Nestle Quick, honestly.
with the rabbit. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but isn't Nesquik with the rabbit too?
Yeah, they just
Different
took
rabbit.
out their. It's a different
I
rabbit.
feel like he's changed.
It's a different.
The rabbit's changed.
Well, yeah,
well,
it
it's
is the rabbit, but
obviously
it's a different.
rabbit.
It's
Yeah.
a different rabbit. Yeah, so.
Dude. Or my dad would make these things called steakums. Now the name already doesn't sound appealing to
It
you,
sounds
right?
like something you have when you're between a rock and a hard place. It's the last.
It sounds
thing.
like an arcade game.
Steakums. Yeah, it
Break
kinda
'em,
does.
steak 'ems.
Like looking back on it, which they still make them today, but they're just like shaved pieces of steak that you just like fry into a pan and then you make a sandwich out of it. Kind of, it's basically like, I guess, like a Philly cheesesteak,
Yeah.
right? It's got like that sort of thing in
Honestly,
it.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds amazing.
but like for lunch, my dad would be like, "You want to steak them?" I'm like, no one I know is drinking Ovaltine and eating Steakums that I go to school with. And my dad would fry it, and you want cheese on it? I'm like, this is the only option I have because I don't know how to cook. So yeah, let's opt for the
You're
cheese.
adult. You're
Well-
the adult, so I guess so.
Yeah,
Yes, you're in
that's-
charge.
I'm at your
Jesus.
behest, and it's so
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Yeah.
Fried bologna was a staple in my house.
Really,
Anything?
Now that sounds like Great Depression food.
I wouldn't put it past my dad to eat that all the time.
Oh my gosh, I would still eat it. I don't care.
Yeah,
Really? It's good?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
we had
And
fried bologna at what's that? The restaurant that we've gone to before, like Wings games and stuff.
Grey Ghost.
Grey Ghost. Yeah, they've got a fried bologna dish. It's great.
It's phenomenal.
I'm sure a lot of fried bologna has not been prepared like that.
No, I mean,
over the years.
my fried bologna growing up as a kid was white bread, untoasted, so like the soft that gets stuck in your teeth.
Yep.
Love it.
Bologna, 2 pieces, fried in a pan. You don't even need butter or anything like that because the greases of the bologna just kind of roll on out there. Flip it, cut a slit in it so it doesn't bubble too much, and throw some mayonnaise on there.
I'm taking this process. It's mine now.
I'm talking. I'm saying it's like really good. Most
Yeah.
recently, probably last year, I made this. Monica thinks it's just absolutely disgusting. By the way, throw a piece of cheese on there.
Yeah, why not?
It's phenomenal.
Why
Yeah.
not?
I will eat that any day of the week for every meal. I
I'm
don't
like
care.
that with Chipotle. I could have Chipotle every day.
Do you really?
I could. I'm saying I could.
Oh.
I don't have a Chipotle near my house, but
Because I actually have Chipotle every day. You do? No.
I just have
I
a
would if I could.
for my paycheck from work, I just have a separate account just for Chipotle. And a
Yeah,
certain
yeah, yeah.
percentage
Direct
of that.
deposit, that's
just
the
direct
best way.
deposits right into there. That's my.
I
Chipotle
pay you,
card,
you serve me, etc.
Yep.
etc.
That's the way the world goes around.
Well, guys, I tell you what, I'm personally, I don't know about you guys, but I'm running a little bit low on time. I have to button up the conversation today, but I feel like the three of us, you put the three of us in a room together or even a virtual room like we are right now, and we could talk for what's the if the over under is at 3 hours, I'm picking the over there.
I'll pick
Imagine
you
if we
over.
were in the metaverse.
Oh,
VR,
and see,
dude.
that's where my imagination really gets going.
Brain
And I won't even
short-circuiting.
bore you with the details, but just trust me that it's going. I want to thank you, the listener. I want to thank you, listeners, for listening and liking the Stouting Off podcast. Jordan and Will and I, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, don't we, guys? I mean,
We sure do.
We do.
Bottom.
We really do.
Very
I mean,
rock bottom.
Over
rock
here.
bottom, left ventricle all the way down. And so we want to say thanks for listening to the Stouting Off podcast, where we talk about just really important stuff in life. We love you. We'll see you next week. Take care in the meantime. Bye.